Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to the Thursday night stream. Got some trains running on the old 6x4 layout there, same as last week, the Irish trains running, because this week we're going to be doing some wiring on the baseboard. So I'll turn the camera around. Let's get that into a better position. So this is the first section I've taken out. See, I've cut the tracks. The video on this bit will be coming out next Thursday. There's a video out tomorrow on the start of how I done the track ends. So that'll be out tomorrow morning. Channel members already have seen it. So a big welcome to everybody. Welcome to the channel members, and hi to anybody who's watching this on playback, because I have referred to tonight's live stream and the video that's coming out next week, because this is the one I'm going to be doing the actual wiring. So we'll flip this over in a minute and we'll get started on that. I'll just have a look at the chat and see who we have in tonight. You'll see at the top I've pinned a comment. That is Anthony's channel, Middleport Junction. So do check him out, give him a subscribe. He's one of the channel members. I'm going to try and do this every week. Pick a particular channel member or channel and put it at the top so everyone can subscribe if you're not already subscribed. So let's have a look and see who's in the house. I think Joshua was first off. Anthony Dodge, the Model Train Outsider. Good evening, sir. Graham, Lemington Station. Martin O'Keefe, how are you doing? Tom Houston, Model Rail. Top moderator, Flymo, Chairman One's in the house. Flymo, I went to the post office today to post your book out to you, and the post office was closed. For some reason, they close half day on a Thursday. So I'll get to that in the next day or two and get it off to you. Andy, Hot Dog Pilot, how you doing, sir? Who else we got? Alan White's in the house. Good evening, Alan. John O'Donoghue, Peter Jackson, Sheila Heath, Smallwood Junction. That's Peter, isn't it? Hi, Peter. How's it going? Is it Peter and Paris? Testing my brain here now. Leslie Gilpin Railways. Good evening, sir. How are you doing? Joshua, yeah. Oh, Union Grider Blackwood N-gauge layout is in. Mick92, good evening, sir. How are you doing? Jerry BVR, good evening. Lurking in the background. Ira Van's on, good evening. How are you doing? Anybody I missed? Did I get everyone? Oh, Brian Finnerton, Central Model Railways here. Good evening. And Paris and Paul, sorry. I knew it was a P. I apologize, I'm terrible with names. Well, hi, H&H Express Model N Scale Trains here. Good evening. How are you doing? And hi to anybody who's lurking in the background. If you're new here, thumbs up, subscribe. Got any questions, put them in the comments. Maura King, good evening. How are you doing? Oh, Kieran's in the house, just popped in there. J94, good evening, Kieran. Let's see now, let me just cut out the names. I didn't actually read any of the comments. Make sure I haven't missed. Electrofrog or Insofrog points. These are Electrofrog points if you're referring to what's in front of you. Apart from the slip, which they don't do an Electrofrog slip in code 100. That's a double slip. Well, it's kind of Electrofrog, but not. Has the plastic frog, but these bits are wired up to be switched. Oh, Moreland Model Railway, Andy's in. Hi, Andy, how you doing? Bang got your junction, Carl. How you doing, Carl? I haven't seen you back for a while. Hope you're keeping well. Right, so tonight I'm just going to be doing mostly the droppers on this. I'm probably going to leave the point motors so I can do a video on that separately. But hey, you'll get to watch me do some of my dodgy soldering and see how many times I burn my hands and try not to swear. So, you know, it's a bit of entertainment for you guys. So let's flip this over. Oh. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a pencil. And I'm going to put an arrow front, arrow for back. So when I'm working on this upside down, I know that's the front of the layout, i.e. the outside. The back is the interior. That makes sense. So you can see there's some droppers on these already. And you can see where I just wired up the frogs just to have things running, so I can undo those now. So hopefully I've got everything here I need, because today has just been one of those days where it was just hectic and I couldn't seem to get things sorted. And I literally came on air with after running around and just say it's just one of those days. Always have a pencil ready to work it out. Very true, Andy. Yes, say don't forget to check out Anthony's channel at the top. That's not Anthony Dodge. This is another Anthony. He had an interesting video up there where he received a package from Rails and it didn't look the best. And he opened it and I wasn't holding out much hope for it. But Rails did package it internally with bubble wrap and everything very, very well. So it did survive the, well, it looked like they'd been using it as a football or rugby ball or something, whoever the courier was, but it survived. Right, so got that sorted out. I'm going to flip it back over again because I need to work out, because I'm going to have to put some extra droppers on this track, because obviously where I've cut it, it might necessarily have a feed on it. Anybody who's watching the bottom right camera, you can see it on the TV there. It popped up in my recommended. It's a 37 going from, is it Taunton? Bridgewater or somewhere, all the way, it's a cab view all the way up to Birmingham. So I can see at the moment it's just going through Filton in Bristol. So I just thought I'd have that in the background. It's probably a bit small on people's devices, but okay, so let's have a look at this now. Right, so the points have their feeds. The double slip has its feed. There's two bits of track here now I'm going to have to add feeds to. So I'm just going to mark where I need. This has got a feed here. This bit of track here, but this track here will need a feed as well. Yes, there's fish plates joining them. Let me move that into the camera. So you got this short little section here. Yes, there's fish plates joining them, but I'd rather put a feed onto it now, do the job. Then, you know, each piece of track has a feed going to it. So later down the line, because remember, this is the lower level, it's going to be buried. And if I need to get to this bit of track to put a feed on it, it's going to be a nightmare. So let's do it now, and then it's done. So that. So I need to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 feeds just on this. Oh, and actually these ones here as well. So that's 7, because we got little bits here coming off the slip Obviously, they're insulated, so they need to have a feed going into them. So we'll do that as well. And then I can hook it up to a transformer if I get all this done during the show tonight. Hook it up to a transformer and test all, make sure it's all working. Oh, Trevor's popped in. Hi, Trevor. How you doing? Is that whose video it is? Is it Jerry? Ben Ellis? Let me, just... Yeah. Class 37 driver's eye view. Where was it? Exeter to St. David's to King's Norton. There you are. So if anybody wants to look it up, or if one of the mods want to find it and stick the link in, I think you're a mod, Jerry, so you should be able to put it in. Swigging some 7-Up Cherry Zero tonight. It's the remnants of cans of stuff that was bought in for Christmas. Right, let's get a drill and a small bit. That isn't a masonry bit. Right, fair warning now for people who are on headphones. There's going to be some drilling and some noise. So I'm going to make a bit of noise now, guys. So chat amongst yourselves. Obviously, when you're drilling to something, make sure there's nothing underneath you're going to drill through. There's no cross members on this where I'm drilling because the cross member comes through the middle. So I'm going to drill these holes now. That's going to... Here we go. Right, a little bit more noise. Black & Decker dustbuster. Oh, President XD's in as well. How are you doing? Hi to anyone else who's popped in or haven't seen in the chat. Got any questions, do pop them in the chat. I'm sure somebody, if I don't see it, somebody else will answer it for you. But any questions are welcome, marathons are train related. Okay, so now the plan with this, to connect each board, I have got some leads coming. They clip together. So each board is going to be clipped together. So they're all going to be daisy chained together. So what I'm going to do is, because all I need on here, there's going to be basically a bus running around for DCC power, and also a bus for the power to run the solenoid motors. So I've got one of those DCC concept power supplies. You would have seen it. Well, it's yonks ago now when I was back in the other house and I was setting up. It has built-in CDU, which is a capacitor discharge unit. So it gives a nice oomph of power to flick the solenoids. Now, apparently it says it can do 25 at once. I don't think you would ever be doing 25 solenoids at once unless you had a massive layout. But so I've got some of these chocolate block connectors, electrical connectors. These are, I think these are 5 amp rated. DCC is only 2 wires. It is only 2 wires that's going around for the bus. The other wires are to power the points. So, you know, it is 2 wires. So I'm going to put 4 there. So I'm going to screw 1 to this side and 1 to this side. So the bus wire will run between these two. The connectors will then plug into these and connect in to the next one along. So hopefully I've got some screws here. As I say, I'm very unprepared for tonight because today was just one of those days where it just seemed to get away from me and just didn't seem to get anything done. So I'll just use my electric screwdriver, which is basically a drill. Always remember, if you're using a drill, something like this, as a screwdriver, most of them will have a setting on the top to set to screw. So make sure you have the right setting on because you will just burn your drill out otherwise. I've just actually put the wrong thing in there now. Where did that go? I just had it in my hand. It's going to be one of those evenings. I just picked it up. I just had the drill bit. Where did I put it? Everyone just talk amongst yourselves while I just mumble to myself and try and find the screw bit I just had in my hand. Did I drop it on the floor? Did it roll off the desk? One thing I would advise, if you have a train room, if you have a floor, paint it a bright color. This has got like a black carpet with a flower pattern on the floor, and if you drop something on it, you cannot find it. I think I'm going mad. I know I had it in my hand. I picked it up a minute ago. Oh, this is turning into a disaster already. There it is. How many of you spotted that? How many of you screaming at me? Route 7 Railway, good evening, sir. How are you doing? Welcome to the bathhouse. Take your shoes off and you soon find it. Oh, yeah. All right, that shouldn't go through the wood. I'm not going to put it in too tight anyway. So I'm just going to screw these in now. To put them up so I can actually get the wire into them. Make sure the screws aren't so long that they come out through the wood on the other side. No, that's fine. I may find I have to move these again, but we'll put them in for now. Mark, a true modeler. I had it a second ago. Yeah. Hi, Brian. Good evening. How are you doing? Sorry, I've got to warn everyone for the noise. Oh, this is sounding a bit sick. Let's split. Never mind. It'll do. Okay, so what I'm going to run between there is this is what I use for my bus. This is stripped down 1.5 twin and earth. So we have here, this is usually used in lighting circuits in, well, certainly here in the Republic of Ireland and in the UK. So this would normally carry to 20 to 40 volts for a lighting circuit. So this will run between the two here, and then the droppers will fit onto it. So obviously brown is live, blue is neutral. And I try and keep the wiring convention as well, so that black is to the back. So then whenever I see a black, then I know it comes that way. And you'll notice there's a little bit of yellow tape on the end of here. What I tend to do, because I run these for all my buses, is every so often I'll put a bit of tape around it. So when I underneath the board at a later date, and I can look at it, see yellow tape, I'll go, that's the main DCC bus, different color. That's the 12 volt supply. That's the point supply, that sort of thing. So it makes it a bit easier, because when you look under a layout, sometimes you have a big rat's nest of wires, and it can be a bit difficult. And I know some, just to make things a bit more, I know some of these track that already had droppers wired on, some I've used, I know some of them are wired the wrong way around. So I'm going to have to watch that when I'm putting this together. It's 1.5, not 2.5. 2.5 is used in the socket circuits. So in your, what they would call a ring main for your sockets. I just find you can, well, you used to be able to pick up a roll of this 100-meter roll for about 40 quid. I think it's a lot more now. Also then the bare earth copper wire that's in the center, I use that for making trees. Hence there is one on the layout down there that I made. So I've got over here just a box of wires that I basically came off the old layout. So there's all bits, lengths of black and red wire and everything, which I'm just going to use instead of cutting it off the roll. Just use these odd scrappy bits that I've got. Yep. Reuse, recycle. Yeah, that's a very good point, Jerry. What I tend to do is where the wire goes in is I actually write on the board, go, right, yellow DCC bus, black 12 volt bus, green point bus. So I know what it is, because you're right, 6 months. Again, what did I wire this as? I always know that black and red is positive and negative. blue and brown is positive and negative, because when I first started working with my dad back in the 80s, because my dad's a Sparky, he's retired now, this Twin and Earth here, it used to be black and red. So kind of got used to that convention. I mean, I don't know when they changed it over to blue and brown, probably European directives that came in the 90s to standardize everything. Yeah. On your hands and knees with a torch, I would recommend anyone get a head torch. Quite often they come into Lidl for like a tenner. Grab one. I've got a couple of them. The ones I've got, you can actually recharge using a phone charger. Fantastic. Because I was watching Iron Horse earlier on. He put on there a bit about, you know, everyone's going on about Hattons and the model show and trouble getting young people. And he made some good points that, you know, a lot of people are saying it's price, but like I said last week, and he said as well, it's not necessary price, because they'll go out and pay 400-600 quid for a game console, and then anything from 50 to 80 quid for a game a pop. So what point was I making? I can't remember now. As they say, old age doesn't come alone. Right, I suppose the thing to do now would be actually to get soldering iron and plug that in and get that warming up. I'm just going to make some space here now. As I say, wasn't very organized earlier on, so I'm going to move the main camera, so it's going to get a bit shaky for a while, guys. I swear we're generators powering up. Yes, indeed. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to solder on droppers first. Then I can see where they come out and then work out how I'm going to put them onto the bus. I might even end up moving these if they're not in a central location, and I'll have to, well, there is a hole already drilled through. So, I mean, this, when you do a sectional layout like this, and you can take the baseboard apart, turn it upside down, work on it, it makes life so much easier. Yeah, Jerry says that a difference, you pay 300, oh, used without the rest of the layout. I mean, you get a train set like that layout, that stuff is running around on there. I built that more or less as, you start off with a train set, this is what you can go on to. And you build that over, obviously it was built quicker because it was during lockdown and I wasn't doing anything else. But you could take a year easily to build that, and you're spreading the cost over 52 weeks, saving up your money, doing a little bit like that, you know. And then when you have the layout built, then you could decide to go and get more expensive locos or different locos or. Right, where are my wire strippers? Yeah, normally I'm a lot more prepared than this, but I'd say just today, just one of those days. Anyway, little wire strippers. I think they were a tenner. Great job for stripping this sort of wire. Makes it a lot easier. Or you can go and pay, was it 30 quid for the DC Concept ones? Which, I don't know, but I find most of the little stuff is of reasonable quality for this sort of hobby stuff and general home DIY. Right, so first things first, I'm going to tin the ends of these. So I've just stripped the ends, twisted them, dipped them in the flux. Now I'll bring them over here and put them in the third hand. I'm going to move the camera if I can without disconnecting it. Over here to the torture device. If you can see that. Hi Raymond, how you doing? I'm still here, Andy. Can you still hear me? Or has my mic settings changed? Because I don't know whether it's StreamYard or YouTube, but they seem to be messing with the mics. The fine wires, the very, very fine wires, sometimes I will just burn the insulation off. But these will actually, you can adjust these for some very fine wires. BT cutters. I got some crimping tools, not from my networking days. Let's find the end of this solder. I'm actually going to see if I got some older solder because that stuff is a bit thin. Yep. It's quite thin as well. All right, just rummaging in the toolbox. No, that'll have to do. Excuse me. Quick swig. Right, hopefully now this will have. Simon SJ TrainWorld, good evening, sir. Say, anyone who's joined, don't forget to check out the pinned comment at the top. It is Anthony's channel, one of my channel members. Right, that's them tinned. Put the Bernie thing back in and flip this over. So this is going to be a bit monotonous. It's going to be repeating the same thing over and over all night. Actually, it makes sense if I flip this around. And I think what I'll do is I will write on there to remind me. And if I just check the droppers on everything else, black to the back, black to the back. I can't see them there. Black to the back. Yeah, the double slip is reversed, so I need, when I'm wiring, need to remember that, which I probably won't, and it'll short out, and I'll be, what the hell? So let's start off here. Everyone see that? Let's move it in a bit closer. So I've drilled the holes there. So, and remember we're going black to the back, so that direction is the back, so the black one goes in there. Probably would have been easier if I poked it up. I'll put a 90-degree bend in that. Oh, great, I dropped the red wire. I find my, let's find my little wire brush just to clean off the edge of the rail to make sure there's a good contact. So I've got one of these pens, wire brush on the end. I've got 3 of them. One's steel, one's brass, and one's fiberglass. And they're just great for doing this sort of thing, just getting in there, cleaning the rail off. Make sure you got a good surface for doing the soldering to, and you get a good connection. And remember, you're soldering the dropper onto the outside of the rail, because obviously flanges are on the inside and it would cause derailments and all sorts of bother. All right, this is always where you need an extra hand. So sometimes you can quite lucky and it will fit in there and it will sit nicely onto your solder it. So a little bit of flux. I'll put some on there. And then in with the finger burner and the solder. Again, well ventilated room, lots of fumes coming off this. And because the camera's on, it doesn't want to solder. There we are, that's on. Let me just check the comments. Oh, Craig, New Durham Junction's in. Good evening, Craig. How are you doing? Yeah, I always melt some ties, no matter how careful I am. You learn so much from these streams. Yeah, not necessarily you learn how to do it, you learn how not to do it. Well, we've got 42 in the chat according to my thing. So welcome, everyone. Welcome anyone who I haven't seen say hello. You're all very welcome. Don't forget to hit that like button for me and subscribe if you're new here. Any questions, pop them in the comments. Sometimes you can just bend it, just get it to fit in under the lip of the rail once you solder it. That doesn't want to stay, so let's see if we can. I'm never too worried about burning. Well, for a start, this is the fiddle yard. It's not going to be seen. It's going to be underneath, but I'm never too worried about burning any ties because you can cover them with a bit of ballast. And likewise, what I usually do is I would solder the droppers to the underneath of the rail, like I did with these other ones, so they wouldn't be seen. But didn't do it in this case because obviously I wasn't sure where the track was going to go, whether it's going to be keeping it, and so I'll do it this way. All right, let's find another little bit of wire. I say this is going to be a lot of rinse and repeat tonight, guys, so if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. See, this is ideally the sort of stuff you want to do when someone's got a stream on or whatever, and you got that on in the background watching while you're lurking in the background doing something like this. Actually, now I've stopped moving around so much. It's feeling a bit chilly in here. How's everybody's weather doing? We actually had snow here today. So I'll strip these wires off. I'll tin them. And then we'll do another one. So I'm going to just say hello to Adam and Becky if they're watching. Sometimes that's my boy and my missus. She's not feeling the best today, so I doubt if she's actually watching. And Adam, it's almost your bedtime. Oh, hi Barry, I didn't see you were in the chat. How you doing? Hope you're keeping well. Yeah, do send the pictures in, Barry. Maura King, thank you very much for becoming a member. Very welcome to the group. We say anybody who's new here, any money I make on this channel, I use it to maintain and build the layouts in Donegal Railway Heritage Centre. So anything you see me do here on my own layout comes out of my own pocket. And of course, guys, we all remember, sure, I had that for ages. Like, I'm almost, yep. I've always had that logo. So this is going to be a bit tricky to do now because this is such a short piece and it's soldered on that I don't want it to get too hot and desolder and then I lose my lineup. So I'm going to have to try and do this quick. quickly and carefully. So that's something to note. Maybe next time I'm doing this, before I cut the rails, is do the droppers first. Or add the droppers to these tabs. Hello there, Harkiljun, if I pronounced that right. You're very welcome to the stream. I think I've seen you in here before. Yeah, Barry, if you want to send pictures on to myself or Jason, I'm happy to share them. And put them up on my community tab, Facebook, whatever you want me to do with them. I'll show them during the live streams. Right, let's give these a clean. I would recommend getting these little wire brush pens. I think I got them on eBay. They're only like a couple of quid. Clean this one while I'm here. And they're handy for cleaning wheels as well. If you get a stubborn bit of dirt, although I don't like using wire brush on wheels, but every so often you get a stubborn bit of dirt that just won't budge. What are we doing? What time is it anyway? Cost 8:20 already, and I've only done one dropper. Oh, Clive's in the house. Good evening, Clive. How are you doing, sir? That's Clive at Newland Railway. Oh, that cherry 7-Up is not the best. Right, let's get these into position. A little bit of flux on there. What I will be doing afterwards is I've got an old toothbrush that I go around and clean the joints, just so otherwise they go green. Not too much of a problem because this is fiddle yard, but you know, it can cause oxidization, and next thing you know, you don't have a good contact. And the whole point of doing this is to give a good continuity. Doesn't want to do it, so let's get a little screwdriver. And it's all going pear-shaped. Put another little blob of solder on there just to make sure it holds. There we go. And for the other side. Simon Trains Model Railway Showcase. Good evening, sir. How are you doing? Well, my car went off today on the back of a lorry to go and have the clutch fixed. Mechanic's going to be looking at it tomorrow. So I haven't been anywhere. A friend of mine's been very good. Been able to borrow his car during the day while he's been at work, so at least I can get the boy to school and pick him up. Just a bit of solder on the rail there and just scrape it off of the edge of the screwdriver. There we go. Another 2 done. What did I say I got to do? 7? Oh, high off. Okay, take care, high. I'll catch you again. Think of the fuel you're saving. Yeah, it's going to cost... It needs a new clutch, and apparently it's got a floating flywheel or something, and it needs a conversion kit. So we're looking at 600-700 euros to get the clutch done. So it's all money. Okay, guys, I'm just rummaging around here getting, as I say, this is just a box that had wires just thrown into it when I was taking the last layout apart. So I want to use these before I start using a new roll. It's ideal, these little bits of wire for droppers and that sort of thing. Here's Simon with the puns again. Dual mass flywheels. Is that what it is? I don't know much, know the basics of cars, but I was never really a car head. When I first had a car, that's cheap as quite as 2,000 for a clutch for a Kia. Oh, ouch. $1997. Well, this is a local mechanic who's doing it, who's got a workshop in his garage. It's not the dealer doing it. And of course, it won't be the VW, so it won't be official VW parts. It'll be whatever the equivalent is. I'm just tinning another set of wires here. Anybody who doesn't know, tinning is just adding a layer of solder to the end of the wire. It helps keep the wire together and also helps when you're soldering it in place. €35 for a 12-inch. Wow. Mind you, if you go into the likes of Halfords, they're really expensive for wipers. I mean, I tend to go into a normal auto dealer if I need something like that, a wiper blade or whatever. Oh, everything just stopped. And it's flashing at me, so something went wrong with the layout. I'll go and sort that out in a second. Hi, Nicola. That's Nicola's my daughter. Are you home or are you coming home tonight? Or has Matthew got a gig? Oh, you're downstairs. Nicola, if you want, you're a mod, you can stick up a link to Matthew's band YouTube channel. And anybody on here wants to listen to, so Matthew is my daughter's boyfriend. He's in a band, does sort of indie rock type stuff. He's the drummer. Oh, he's in Dublin for a gig, is he? All right, okay. What's he in the O2 or Crow Park? So yeah, stick his band YouTube channel in. He hasn't got very many subscribers at the moment, but give him a listen. They just released a video there about a week ago, I think, of one of their originals, I believe. Could be completely wrong what I'm saying now, but Nicola will fill you in. Oh, RGJ's in the house. Is that Rob or Grace or both of you? How you doing, guys? Hope you're keeping well. I was on your stream the other night. I was lurking in the background. I didn't say anything because I was doing stuff like this. Oh, that's moving. Yep. I think that might have moved slightly, so I'll have to adjust that when I put the boards back together again. Oh, there you are. Nicholas put his link up. I wonder who wants a few minutes entertainment after the live. Robert, good evening, sir. How you doing? Which reminds me. I got some carriages off Robert the weekend. Some chocolate and cream, GWR. Actually, I think these are British Rail. Yeah, British Rail. Paddington West and Supermare. Can't even talk tonight. Got a break and then two composites. So they'll go with the King Charles II, does it have? The Bristolian. They'll go with that. And then also got this old Triang Ginty, which, is going to go into the project box to be painted up for the railway, but, painted up red. But how soon that'll be happening, I don't know. Yeah, the Yoo-hoo, that was a couple of nights ago. I was gluing all the track, and then Nicola actually walked in here and went, "You're all right, it really smells of glue in here." And I was like, "Does it? I can't smell anything anymore." think there was two of Nicola when she walked in through the door. That might have been a clue. So you can see when you're building a model railway, how long it can be to do something like this. All right, I'm chatting and I'm on a live stream here, but doing all these fiddly little jobs. That's why, you know, model railways is a great hobby to be doing something like this. You can, gives you time to do something. You can watch something on YouTube, you know, relaxing, helps you concentrate. Of course, it can be really frustrating at some times when something goes wrong or you burn your fingers on the soldering iron. Actually, I didn't put any flux on this one, did I? Let's put the solder iron back and stop holding on to it till I'm actually ready for it. Okay, Joshua, take care. A bit cold for a gig in Crow Park. Yes, it is. It is a tad cold, all right. We had, well, when I got into my mate's car this morning, it said -4. And he said it actually got warmer from where he was. It was -5 when he got into the car. Oh, that smell of melting sleeper. Too cold for anything, yeah. There's 1, 2, 3 done. Only another 4 to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. It was snowing earlier on, and we have a slight dusting out. We don't even have an inch of snow out here, but if it snows during the night, it'll pitch and it'll stay to the morning, as there's supposed to be very hard frost tonight, -3 to -4 through the night, so the roads will be deadly in the morning. Snowing in some parts of Anglesey, light dusting. The only time I've ever been on Anglesey is at Holyhead to get to the damn ferry, and it's usually 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's always bloody cold, even if it's in the middle of summer. I'm actually going to put my heater on because I'm just a little bit chilly, and I'll probably put this on, and it will trip everything because it'll overload the circuits. Just take the chill out of the air. Okay, Leslie, take care. I don't know why I seem to have more red wire in here than black. Don't want to pull it too much or else it'll could snap internally and then you'd be in bother. Well, I'll just trundle along doing this at a nice pace. Oh, and the 37 is pulling into Cheltenham Spa. Anybody who's watching that in the background? Yeah, so check out the pinned link at the top for Anthony's channel. Andy Dobson, good evening, sir. How are you doing? Oh, but 6:30 and driving. Yeah, that'll be fun tomorrow morning. Hoping I hear that the secondary school is literally just across the road from here, so the bigger kids have to go to school. They can just walk across. But the National School, primary school, is about 4 miles down the road, so the little man gets driven there every morning because there is no bus. Oh, Jake's in the house as well. Haunted Halloween Railway. Good evening, Jake. How are you doing? Anybody who's joined, what I'm doing here is this is the first section of the layout here. I've popped it out because I'm happy with the track plan. I've done the track ends here for the baseboard joints. Video out on that tomorrow with a follow-up video on that next week. So anybody who's not sure what's going on. So video will be hitting at 7 a.m. unless you're a channel member, and you would have already seen it because I try and get my videos out for channel members on a Wednesday, but if I can get them out earlier, I do. So this week's video actually went up. I think I got it done on Monday. I'm trying to do the videos a little bit shorter than having doing a lot in one video. So we're putting it into more bite-sized chunks. Just making sure that's the back, black to the back. This is further back now from the joint, so hopefully I'll get this soldered before the heat transfers down and destroys the joint. Yeah, let me just find my phone and just go back through the chat and just see. No fiddly wires in my hobby. Well, Nicola, what about all the tack and stuff you make, all the little hoops and things you've got to bend and stuff? That's fiddly. WBUU, Mark. Okay, what does that mean? Have I missed something? Let's just reset those trains and get them running again. Here's them going again. Let's see if they stop again for some strange reason. Oh, what about you? All right, okay. Well, I'm doing good. Happy out here soldering. As I say, this is my therapy time, Thursday evenings, chatting to you guys. No one comes in through the door because they don't want to be caught on camera. I get left alone. I get an hour to relax, chill. Apart from the frustrations of model railways, when you had a piece of wire in your hand and you just put it down and now you can't find it again. Seriously, where did that go? I had a red and black wire. I did just, didn't I? I did. Oh, I already put them in the track. Oh, I'm losing it. When you reach over 50,000 subscribers and over 4,000 hours of watching, you'll be showing yourself. Tom, if you want some Yoo-hoo glue, Poundland. They usually have loads of it in there in their stationery section. Because that's where I picked up my Yoo-hoo. I think it was in the Poundland in Strabane. You know, showing myself on camera, I decided to do that with my second ever video. Thought, no, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Showed my ugly mug. And I'm afraid you guys have had to look at it ever since. As I say, I've got a face for radio. Yeah, she's got, we say to each other, like her plastic horses, some of them cost as much as my plastic trains. And we all know how much some of those locos cost. And I'm talking some of the top end locos. But there is some crossover between our hobby. She is doing a couple of dioramas in, I think, N scale and 00. She has some Metcalf kits that she's been putting together. And she did buy me a couple of horse boxes for my railway. So there will be horses appearing on my layout. Do you know, I didn't actually clean that rail, did I? Before I soldered it. Ironville, the double slip looks like insulated points. The double slip, this is a code 100. So they don't do an electro frog in code 100, but the frog bits here and here do have a dropper on them, and they will be switched using a seep point motor. So what you can't see is underneath here, I have droppers across there to make the rails live, and then the droppers coming from each of these will go into the switch to power. So it's all insulated at either end, but the whole slip will be powered depending on which way that it's thrown, if that makes sense. If you look at my video on double slips, you can see how I've done it and how it works. I thought that Nicola WU was "What about you?" but I wasn't too sure. I'll show my ignorance. All right, another bit of red. I'll see, find some more black. Lots of red, but no black. Right, I'm going to snip one of these to get a bit off. So how are we looking on the old likes? Everyone been hitting the like for me? Oh, hit the dislike if you want. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. And any questions, pop them in the chat. Anybody who's joined is wondering what's going on. I'm just doing the wiring now on my layout. So I'm adding droppers to each section of track. And then I'll flip the board over and I'll wire it all into the bus. Probably won't get that done tonight because we're approaching 10 to 9 now. But I'm quite happy to keep going for a while longer, as long as you guys are. What I might do is just do all these until I get to the last dropper and then stop the stream there, because then I can do a video on the last droppers, and that'll be out in a couple of weeks. I'm not going to be doing block detection, not on this section. To be honest, because this is going to be a layer I want to take to shows. I'm not going to do that because what I want to have is be stood out the front with a controller and let people have a go, letting kids have a go, let them learn about model railways, engage with them so they can see what's involved in the hobby and not just stood there watching somebody else play with trains. They can come and play with trains too. Tom Couples, good evening, sir. How are you doing? Yeah, snuffers is basically, it's like a little capacitor and resistor that goes on the end of the wire to try and even out so there's no spikes, I believe. If mum's watching, I'll sell your trains on eBay. Yeah, they cut electrical noise and spikes. If you look at Larry Puckett, the model train guy, he did something on them, must be over a year ago. And basically, it's just a little component that goes on the end of your bus, and it helps reduce noise and spikes. I've never used them, to be honest. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These two to do over here. Oh, we're getting there slowly. Oh, the handle of this soldering iron is getting very hot. I'm not sure that's right. Why did I drill that hole so far away? Just remembered I didn't clean it. So this is a little pen wire brush. It's great for cleaning track like this, or anything that you want to make electrical contact on. It's got a blob of solder on it, so I'm just going to melt it on there. That didn't take. Just going to put another little drop of solder on there just to hold it in place. And the solder's going everywhere except where I want it. Of course, when you're doing something like this on your railway, you should have the power off. Obviously, this is all disconnected, but you shouldn't do any soldering while the system's live, because you will break everything. Oh, I just realized the camera's not even on what I'm doing. Let me just move the camera. Oh, it's Carl in the house. Hi, Carl. How you doing? John's heading off. All right. Good night, John. The cab ride in the background is, Jerry knows what it is. He put a link for it up earlier on. Class 37, driver's eye view, Exeter, St. David's to King's, Norton. Ben Elis, wasn't it? Can't quite see the writing from here. I'm sure if you put in class 37, it's about 3 hours long. So I just saw it popped up my recommended because it went through Bristol, where I used to live. I did watch the section to Bristol. I thought I'd just have it on the background. There's something nice in the background. Okay, Peter, take care. There, Jerry's put up a link to the cab view there, Simon. It was always this time of night after a live stream that I start getting a bit peckish. Of course, I'm going to have a cheese toastie or something like that because I have no car to go and get a takeaway. It's unfortunately being a small town, there's no deliveries, there's no Uber Eats or anything like that around here. In this weather, the takeaway is just a little bit too far to walk to. By the time you got back in this weather, your takeaway would be frozen, it'd be a block of ice. Rummaging in the box of wires, which I'm going to have to get my black reel out. There doesn't seem to be any black wire in there. Okay, Andy, take care. Couldn't work in my village. Don't call it a village. You don't like it when you call it a village. It's a town. It's Donegal town. That's our 550th anniversary of the town this year, which I'm on the committee to organise some stuff on that. Don't know how I get myself involved in these things. Yeah, Flymo's just putting up Andy's channel there. Do check out. He done an update there recently. He does some excellent dioramas and modeling, and the scenery is just something else. He's given me some very good advice. Ooh, a launch tonight, is there, Jerry? Is that going to be one of Musk's, or is it somebody else? I think it is only Musk at the moment who goes to the space station, isn't it? The people in the village don't like it being called a town. Right, I'm going to do these droppers and then I'm going to call it a night then, guys. So this is your 10-minute warning. My tummy is rumbling. Oh, do you know what I'm going to have? I'm going to have a bacon sandwich. I think I said about that last week. Bacon, nice and crispy, a little bit of cheese on it, between 2 slices of white bread. Lovely. And black to the back. Oh, is that what you had earlier, was it, Brian? Yeah, bacon butty. Let's give these rails a clean. Actually, can you see what I'm doing? Let's move the camera again. So I'm doing this one here now. Okay, Maureen, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for becoming a channel member. Very much appreciated. You get wafted roast dinner smell all day. People still do traditional roast dinners on a Sunday? Is that still a tradition? Is that still a thing? I know we don't do roast dinners on a weekend because, you know, there's always so much stuff going on. Do roast dinners during the week. And if I don't do the full thing with Yorkshires and stuffing and mashed potato and roast potatoes, I get moaned at. Because, yeah, in this house, I do all the cooking. Well, most of the cooking. I've done a couple of cooking videos. I haven't put them up on a channel yet because I've just been messing around with it just to see how they looked. So it's one of my New Year's resolutions is to have another YouTube channel with cooking and that sort of stuff on it. Because it's pretty much, I want to do it for my kids because they're always asking me, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? I thought, you know what? Just make a video. It's up there. They can go and look at it anytime they want. There we go. That's that done. Whew. I didn't burn myself. Woohoo! Result. Tell them to get stuffed. Well, you can say when they're away, if I do things like spaghetti bolognese or meatballs or anything that can be frozen, the leftovers, I make the same batch, it gets frozen, goes in the freezer, and they come home and take it away with them. So I'm still feeding them on their way to university. All right, Jerry, good night. I'm going to head off now as well, guys. I've done that drop run there. I've got one left to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video of the rest of this wiring and everything now. So that'll be out. So there's a video out tomorrow on doing these joins. The video next week is almost done on some more work on the baseboard and a few bits and pieces. So yeah, I'm getting on with this now. Like you can see how long it's taken just putting 6 droppers in there so far. Right, we've been on for an hour and a half. It's probably, without the yapping and stuff like that, it would probably take you an hour to do it. So you can see how it can take quite a while to build a model railway, and that's why it's an ideal thing to do, you know, during the winter. Pop down, do an hour. So anyway, good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new here. If you're watching this on playback and you've lasted this long and you've got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll pick them up. But back again next Thursday. It's going to be, for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be more of this, doing solder and doing droppers as I work my way around. I will say I'm going to try and get stuff done at the weekend, but I never do because something else comes up. But yeah, got the other layout, so train's running on that. I'll take the Irish stuff off next week and have something else running on there. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. It's great chatting with you guys Thursday evenings. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks for the new channel members. Support's greatly appreciated. Take care, everyone, and I will see you all next week and a video out tomorrow. Take care, everyone.